It's gonna have to survive on its own. But right now, the pieces are being pulled around each other because of their relativeness to being together. So when you pull a piece out, pretty much go with how the first paragraph is how much what you like about it. Second is what you don't like so much about it, and the third is just a general. You don't have to give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Let's get after it. It ain't nothing sweet. Let's get after it. And if it's on, you gotta put it back.
That's really good. I love it. I love it.
Ricardo, he loves it because he got some nice ass shit. He know he ain't getting blown off. I'm not worried about getting blown off the water. We're gonna go clockwise. It's just a matter of where the starting point is.
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
I have Lester's Abyss Abstract #2.
Ooh.
I can take criticism good because
So
my kids kill me with it all the time.
#2 is the.
So we're gonna move
Yeah,
around
#2
to it
is
or
the
what?
one right
Yep,
now.
you can move around.
In between
Get where you can see
Georgia
it.
Taylor's 2 pieces.
This is perfect. Okay, give me my
A paragraph of what you like about the piece, or what enamors you to it, and then a paragraph about what's not so enamoring, and then just your general.
How does it fit into the
Your general statement about the piece. The thumbs up thing is just kind of irrelevant.
I've seen it, when he first hung it, so I'm just gonna kind of go with kind of a first impression. I enjoy the color scheme. Personally, I like those colors. So the one thing that I enjoy about it first and foremost is, the coloring of it. I'm sorry, the second one was
Second paragraph?
Yeah.
Things you're not so turned on by.
Things that I'm not so
Turned on by.
Let me know, I can take it.
And I'm just going to say this because this is how I feel about a lot of abstract art in general. Is I'm just going to be real. I just don't get it. A lot of it. And it's artistically, this is the first time I ever said this in public. A lot of this, I don't get it. And I feel as an artist, like I should. Like there's something about it that I should, and I'm interested to learn, and I'm open to learn how to look at abstract art because there's so much about it that I'm not getting what the artist is trying to say. Am I thinking too much? What am I doing? And it doesn't hit me like I want it to, and I just. That's how I feel about abstract art.
Right.
And it frustrates the heck out of me.
And sometimes I don't think the artist understands what he's doing either, because I think sometimes he's just painting just to put something on canvas. In some of my situations, I just feel like I gotta paint. I gotta, I'm thinking of something at one minute, I'm thinking of something else at another time, but I gotta stay consistent with. I feel I got to get this out of me. So I'm just steady creating. It's just a lot of it is just creativeness, and some of it don't have a meaning to it. It doesn't.
Okay. Now I just came with the third component. You don't have to be done with the second component. The third component is to make it more concrete. Would you hang it in your house? That's the third component of the 2 paragraphs.
I would hang it in my house on the strength of the colors.
So you would hang it in your house?
I would hang it in my house.
Somewhere in your house, a person could come in from out your house, a visitor, and be like, oh, that's one of my pieces, part of my collection. A Lester White, abstract #2.
I like the colors.
Okay.
I know Lester.
All right.
And a lot of people like colors too. That's another reason for getting into
Got
abstract.
it. Now, if someone put a Lester,
Yeah, I do.
then you got to repull.
James,
Okay, we go to this man here.
Okay.
How you doing, Danielle? We go to this man here and his piece, his critique.
I got a piece, Grand Rapids skyline.
Grand Rapids skyline.
From the artist.
Well, I like it. I like the composition and the perspective. This line is coming in here. like the fact that there's some detail in the shadows, and there's details in the highlight, so it has a real nice range of value. The only thing that bothers me is that this is, I know they do this in video. They take the subject. Now they like on TV, they want you to, on tight shot, close shot, chop the head off a little bit. That's acceptable. They don't like that air up there. But for this particular piece, I think that's important to have some air up there. Right? Because
It's
that's
all right. Don't take it personal.
the
Just
subject.
It bothered me too. It literally bothered me too, but the picture was there and I said, I'm going with it, but I'm like a fan of thirds and that's
But,
acting.
Overall, overall, I like the feel of it. I like the wave, this particular wave, the shadow there. Just the whole composition. I think it's well thought out and planned, the composition. I like the movement of it.
Within the cocoon number 3, you got a little wiring issue there. Okay. Well, it's part of a three piece of panels, so I pretty much picked my like it quotient based on the other 3 first, and then I went outside of the series itself. So of the series, I would say it was my least favorite. That was my favorite. The lady just looking right at you. I mean, I do a lot of portraiture, so I connect to portraiture, and I like the idea that she actually captured a gaze. It's not very easy to capture a gaze looking at a person, especially with few lines. So that was of the series. That was the piece I was drawn to. It was like, because it was able to capture the gaze looking directly at you with just a few lines. And then I like that piece because it was busier. It kind of gave me like a Soul Train vibe, like a 70s retro vibe, like 70s retro mixed with Art Nouveau. So this piece was actually my least favorite of the 3. But I like it in the family of the 3. It reminds me of like, as I said, Art Nouveau, Mocha, I think was his name. And I imagine when I first saw him, I imagined him in steel. Like what would it be like to have him forged, like have the lines forged in steel? And what could you do with like a steel form of those images? Like as far as maybe putting the color panels in back of them or doing something different. So I did see the black lines of steel. Those are the things I liked about it. Things I wasn't so much turned on about it. I can't really say I had anything. I mean, I took them for what they were. They're decorative. And certain people have negative overtones when it comes to any decorative aspect of art. So people automatically would just say, well, if it's decorative, I don't like it, because art is more than decoration. But I took it for what it was. I took it as Art Nouveau from a black woman's perspective. And so Tiffany lamps and things like that, that's what I got out of it. So I mean, I wasn't too hard on the craftsmanship. The lines are very cleanly cut. I know George is from a graphic background, so for her to go from graphic design to like organic art and to be able to translate it with the same type of bold line, I thought it was good execution. Of course, people ask, should it be color? I mean, I think that's optional. I think these could be prototypes for color, and that would make these just as important as the color work, because it would be the stuff before the color work. So I didn't get too caught up on whether it should have color or not. I thought it fit within. I think the strongest part of it was that it fit in within the context of the show. I felt having a black woman or any woman in the show just created a certain tension with the other art, whether it was on purpose or not. I don't know how much sexual identity has to do with art. That's a whole nother conversation. But you can definitely feel the energy of a woman amongst all this other male-oriented art. So I thought it held it down really well. It was stark, black paint on wood. So I was with it. So my overall rating or whatever would be good. I thought it fit the show. Keep going, expand on the idea. All right. Next up, Ricardo.
All right. Green of Clever. So I got James.
James Palmore.
Yeah.
Dreams of Clover. Which one is Dreams of Clover, Mr. Palmore?
Top one.
The top one.
Like we can.
Okay, so we have a piece of abstract artwork, and I feel comfortable by doing giving my point of view, because as I mentioned before, I jumped to the abstractionism because it was basically the situation pushed me through that, and I lay around, I discover, I feel that you know what, I think I can handle. I don't have any abstract artwork in the show, but in Jane's piece here, I see a lot of energy. I like the colors, and I work with texture also. I work with a heavy pigment, and I mix a lot of different stuff, so it's kind of familiar for me. The pieces, I love the piece, actually. Very conceptual. It's a kind of simplicity, simple piece, but it's very powerful. I don't think nothing bothered me from what I'm seeing right now.
Great.
And of course, I'm familiar with the colors, so I feel comfortable by having her to check out the piece.
Would you like, since we're combining the external critique with the self-critique, would you like to add anything to what you've heard about the piece, or any personal notations about the piece, your feelings on it?
Well, it was created during a period of time where it's a little story that my art career was on a track. Right? It wasn't, things just happened. I was in a newspaper about every 6 months, either an article or an image of mine was in a newspaper. That went on for about 3 or 4 years, right? Nothing that was just happening. And then we came up, myself and 2 other people, we came up, 3 other people came up with the idea to start a festival, have a festival for black artists. And we did that summer, and it led to, we had an opportunity of building like this, almost this size, became available to us for $1,000. And we took that and we created the Black Arts and Cultural Center. And then I dabbled in a lot of stuff. And so I wound up doing the graphic design, designing brochures and all that stuff. I designed sets and built sets for the theater. Photography, I did all that kind of stuff. And it got to the point where I was so busy doing all of that, I stopped painting for about 3 years.
Wow.
And when I came back to paint, and so this is about 87, 88. I came back to paint, and I heard noise. The noise I heard was, what would they think? What would they think if you did this, what you did, So I heard, I've never heard that before in my head. I just painted, did whatever I wanted. And so I wound up wasting a lot of paint. I set it out, nothing was happening. And it was mostly cerebral stuff. And so one day I started to meditate.
That makes sense.
To talk to the ancestors. I like ancient African art. I like the fact that the cowrie shells and all the stuff they use in their art. And I did this for about 10 days, averaging about 2 hours of meditation each day. Asking them my purpose. I just want to use some of it. I wasn't, their purpose is different, but I just want to do that. They said, okay. No, I didn't hear a voice or anything, but after a while, I felt like it was okay. And I produced 6 pieces, and this is one of them that came out of that. And I did that all in about a 2-3 week period of time. And then I got busy at work and all this kind of stuff, and I stopped, and I came back, and it was gone again. And so this, like I said, this is 80, this is like 80, 88, 89, maybe 90, right, when that happened. And so, it stayed that way. I continued to make art, but I didn't feel good about it. It was, like I said, it was all cerebral stuff. It wasn't coming, I wanted to come from here. And this January, I had a show in Chicago. And I had to, when I look at, when I agreed to the space, but the space didn't work for my large painting. I always painted large. I never painted small, stuff like this. So I had to do some small painting. And that was the beginning. That was the following year. I had this show and I made, you saw the show. This piece is one of them. And so is that little white one. They all just popped. And I got my stuff back. And this is one of the results of that. It just flowed, because I hadn't done any abstract since, 76 or something, wow. 79.
So when did you do
I
that
hadn't
piece?
done any abstract.
You did this within
January, back in January. I did probably about 20 pieces in about 2 months.
Okay.
And this is one that came out of that. And it reminds me of Franz Klein. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Franz Klein's work. He's one of the abstract expressionists, along with Motherwell and some of those folks in the late 40s, early 50s. And so he has some stuff that has some movement to this. So anyway, I'm not a colorist, and I know several people talk in terms of color and this and that, and I'm not really a colorist. And so I was trying to find that, what they're talking about, trying to get some emotion from the color stuff. So a lot of this is based on just the principles of art that I'm talking about, what it is that an abstract artist, or how to think about it, how to approach it. So anyway, that's how this what this is.
Yeah, I think actually we have a couple of elements in common. Our roots, when you mention Africa,
yeah.
I think actually grab, I feel it as soon as you've been talking.
Oh, you feel it?
I think, yeah, for real. I mean,
really?
When I see that piece a couple of weeks ago, or last week when I came to the show, it was, that's exactly what I've been doing. 1998, now 1997.
You're doing with your work.
Yeah.
All right.
Because Africa was important element in my art. I mean, in my life.
Yeah.
So, but here it's basically people refuse to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't want. As soon as you mention black, it's basically nothing. I mean, okay, I know your story. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And I carry that stuff because that's me. That's you, just you. And of course, you don't work with color, but come up like automatically, because it's inside of you. It is out of me.
I have to let it, yeah.
So I think this is really good.
Excellent.
That is a doorway that I might be afraid to go through, to me. When I look at it, it's like, I don't know if you ever heard of the science of the woman the witches riding your back where you're sleeping,
Right.
but you're aware of your whole situation.
Yeah.
But you're like really scared to go further,
Yeah.
get deeper, into that because you don't know where you might get lost in that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and it's like, that is a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really looked at it till it just was right at eye level. And I'm like, man, there's something there. I know it's something there.
Yeah.
Do I really want to go there to find out where that is? You know, and that's what hits me about that. I didn't realize how dope it was until I just looked at that. That is dope.
Right.
I see that doorway, and I see that darkness above that doorway.
Hey.
You got I didn't think of it until you told me that the first time. Man.
You ready?
I got Derek Hollowell.
Oh. My friend left.
Oh my God!
Oh, buddy,
Here you go.
Tyner, it's a nice piece. I actually didn't look at that one as much as I looked at your other pieces. I looked at more than that one. It's a nice painting. I give it to you. I mean, Derek Hollowell is Derek Hollowell. He got skills. I like what he did. I don't see nothing really wrong with it. Not a whole lot of color in it, but it's an excellent picture. Would I hang it in my house? I wouldn't hang it in mine, but I would hang it in my parents because they always had a piano there, man. My dad was a piano player, and he would love to have that painting, man. He passed away earlier this year. What I don't like about the painting, it's not really nothing that I don't like about it. It's an excellent painting, man.
Which one are we talking about?
The one with the piano.
The green and yellow shirt.
The green and yellow shirt.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
Maybe if I add a little.
Go ahead and add.
Yeah, because I think Derek has an opportunity to have the signature, that the brand.
Right.
I mean,
right.
you can recognize his work in a glance. I mean, like in a flash. You know,
exactly.
he got the
Right.
talents that
And that's
you know
true.
there is nobody else doing.
I have seen some of his works
Exactly.
for example, in Bayard's gallery, and it was older pieces Derek had laying back. I said, who was that right
Exactly,
there?
exactly.
That's a Derek. I said,
Yeah.
I thought that was Derek. I knew that was Derek.
There is
And so-
something
and
exactly.
he is a signature. He's a unique artist,
Absolutely.
and that piece is a unique piece. But that last piece you did with the glasses, man, that is unique. I like that one. But that is a good piece.
Well, I'll interject a little something on it. I did that piece for the Hopcat. They had already bought like 8 paintings. They put close to that much money in my pocket. So I was feeling I was feeling good.
Right,
and I was like, man, this dude's buying anything I do. Because it's fitting his place. I would go in his place, I would sit in the corner, I would look like Sly Stone on that wall. He's gonna buy it. Tom Petty. So I had one more wall space left to sell him a piece.
Okay.
And it was right across from the bar, brick wall. And I was like, this is McCoy Tyner. It's subtle, it makes you want to kind of just chill, drink some beer.
It is
So
a relaxing piece.
I finished the piece and took it down there, right? And I'm selling pieces like this. I take the piece down there, I leave it on the easel, I walk out. My phone rings about a day later. How much? I tell him, Brian, he writes me a check. That's what our relationship becomes.
Yeah.
So I was trying to dip in that well one more time. I was like, I'm about to dip in that for one more. For a time.
Why not?
I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it. It's gonna be kind of drippy, and I'm gonna use a lot of mineral spirits, and I'm gonna try to catch the little 70s. And I do like the lady in the back with the afro, the lady in the blue. She was like an admirer, and in the photo, she really was checking him out while he was playing piano. She was really like, I dig me some McCoy Tyner. So I really like how I captured the lady in the far distance in the blue dress. But I took the piece down there and left it in Hopcat. And it stayed in Hopcat for a month. It stayed in Hopcat for 2 months.
How long?
But he never bought it. So now it's 3 months later, and it's sitting in a beautiful spot in Hopcat. It's fitting in with everything else. I'm like, that's supposed to be in Hopcat. I think I wanted like $5,700 for it. Just to finish the deal. Give me $5,700, I'm out your hair. 3 months go by, rent's getting tight, I spent all the money he already gave me. I'm like, dude, you gotta buy that or I'm coming to get it. And to make a long story short, he called my bluff. He was like, come and get it. And so I went and got it, and I've had it ever since. So, you know, it was kind of, as an artist, it was to the point where, do I leave it there and let it get seen in Hopcat and let him, what do you call it, matriculate on it and end up buying it? No, I was kind of pissed off at him. I'm like, man, you're supposed to buy that, finish up the series. So I went and grabbed it. Here's the little add-on to the story. McQueen Tyner himself ended up playing at St. Cecilia's a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago. I went down to St. Cecilia early in the day. I had a little in with him. And I was like, I would love to hang this painting up in the St. Cecilia Music Hall, the lobby, before the show. Because it's actually McCoy Tyner back in, I think that was 1973, 74. And they were like, I took the painting down there in person. They were like, oh, no problem, we would love to. Oh, yeah. So they gave me a space in St. Cecilia before the concert to show the piece. So I hung the piece up. There's probably 300 people there. And I stood next to the piece, you know, like, and people would ask, like, what's that paint? You did that? Yeah, I did that, blah, blah, blah. My goal was to get McCoy Tyner to sign the piece. And I was going to take it back to the Hopcat dude, because I know Tyner is one of his favorite guys. That was one of the other reasons I did it, for the Hopcat guy, because I know it's one of his favorite artists. And I said, well, I'm going to take it back to him and get Tyner to sign it, and then take it back to him, make it $7,800, and get the money, because he's not going to turn it down with Tyner's signature on it. So my friend Tony, we chased Mr. Tyner down, met his band outside the place, found out that he was in the back room where he had to go down the back ramp of St. Cecilia, and we tried to get it in his face, literally, physically. Right. Tony had the piece, and he was like, Mr. Tyner, Mr. Tyner. And the lady who's the executive director of St. Cecilia was like, no, he's tired, concert's over, it's a wrap, beat it. And we were like, no, Mr. Tyner. And he looked up. I never made it all the way down the ramp. I was a little behind because my man literally ran it up there to get him to see it. So I only know of his account. But his account was that Mr. Tyner saw the piece, and he kind of was just like, I'm tired. And so he brought it back out. So I'm still pissed at McCoy because he didn't sign my shit. And it's not right to be pissed at a jazz great elder. But I'm pissed. I'm like, dude, all you had to do, I would take your tired signature, your worn out just scrawl, anywhere on it, you could have went across your face, and I would have been with it. So I did get it signed, and that kind of bucked up the piece for me. So now I have a bittersweet memory of the piece, but some people like it, some people don't, so I still show it. But it's not my favorite piece, but there's certain parts I like about it. I like the lady, I like the crown of his fro, because those are 2 strokes. To make the triangle that outline the top of his afro, those were literally 2 bold black strokes. Like, and I caught it, you know. I mean, I caught the crown of his head like a 70s afro. So I'm impressed with that aspect, and the girl in the back. But other than that, until he signs it, it'll never mean what it should mean.
I like the darker value you got on the side of it, and I like how you
real life. So Mr. Tyner did see it. And he's like 7, but to make a little, excuse for him, apology for him, he did fly in on a Chicago bucket flight in the winter blizzard and made it to the show. They actually, St. Cecilia said, Mr. Tyner's gonna be late tonight. All wine is on the house. St. Cecilia said, just get a glass of wine, he's gonna be 45 minutes late. So people sat there before the concert and just guzzled wine. So by the time he got there in a blizzard, a little mini blizzard, and got on the piano, everybody was just joyful, cheerful. Everybody was because St. Cecilia is Grandpa's finest, you know, it's a music society. So everybody usually comes in there kind of, Corey Tyner, you know, I'm gonna watch the pianist. But after that wine, everybody was like, hey, you know, how you doing? You see an open, hi, yelling across the room type stuff. So when he got up there and played those beautiful chords,
it was just fun for him to record, do a live recording.
Yeah, it would have been, because he literally had his boots on when he got, he literally went straight from out the limo, cold winter, and got it warmed up. They actually his band played a little literal. You know how they say warming up? They played a literal warm-up song to get their hands ready to play the instruments before he came out. They just played like a little jazz standard, a little warm-up song. And then he came out and did the show. Yeah.
I can't wait to get that deep on a piece of
Well, the piece wasn't that deep. I mean, it was the fact that I was
what it went through was deep.
What it went through was deep. You got two choices for your Picardo. Let me shake up your two. Reach in there and grab your Picardo that you can critique. Whichever one you get is good. What do you have there, sir?
Picardo Community Builders.
Community Builders. That's the piece in the black frame.
Oh, I gotta look at it.
Take a look at it. Eric, we're critiquing your piece. You're the last guy. Go ahead, Aki. Is that Cheryl? It's good. Yeah, you good.
Okay, cool. I love the colors. I mean, it definitely is a yin-yang effect to me. It's a dominant piece, but yet it has a lot of femininity to it, you know? Like, to me, I see like females being the core of a community, you know? They stick together. They definitely have some spiritual values. I don't know if you see the building with the cross up top and stuff. It definitely has that spiritual value with it. Women of any color. I can't even say it. It's
right.
Like, definitely black, but it's women of any color. Definitely multicultural community. And it's just feminine basic strength of the community. And that's what I see of it. To break it down on the color scheme, I'm still looking at this. I didn't go to school for this. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I can't break it down like the contrast or how it is, but he knows how to match colors with the frame. You know, like even the frame is dominant, but yet you into the art. You know what I mean? And I can sit there and just have a drink and look at that for hours just because of that. You know. I have no complaints about it.
You have no not so hot at all? There's no not so hot to it.
I don't see it.
Carlos hot. Everybody knows that.
I don't see it. Like,
Carlos hot.
I would definitely rock it in my crib. You know what I mean?
So say what you said again before about the female.
Yeah, it's a definitely dominant piece in the whole event, but it definitely has a femininity about it.
Right.
A feminine touch and how, like, you know, they're sisters and they're like the strength of the community. Definitely spiritual based, you know?
Yep, that's.
Would you like to say anything about the piece?
Well, yeah, maybe point to the female figure. One of the things, I think the female body is in the majority of my piece is basically because we're coming from the macho culture. In my country, you know, men are doing everything in a wrong way. I understood later. So it was a time when I understood that you know, in the whole Latin America, women are taking better place in our society. So, and actually taking a better place in my own artwork. So you will see a lot of female figure as a main figure in my artwork because of that. And I got a lot of respect, of course, you know, as a human being. Because we're supposed to be, you know, the stronger one, the one who is not true.
Never true.
So yeah, it's not true. So it's very emotional. There is a lot of seen from my culture actually in those pieces. I try to reflect exactly what's going on from my point of view in my community in Grand Rapids. Embrace, you know, all of the hope, faith, religious, diversity, inner city, part of the city is in there. So you see, it's important component in, you know, as a part of the whole society.
That's it.
What I find I love this. Well, here's what I see. Even though, okay, those are the like non-female. I see it as a religious piece. It looks like.
Right.
And it's kind of a dual thing. One is, this here reminds me of the resurrection. You're holding Christ.
Right.
There. And at the same time, I see this as the nativity too. Bigger here.
Right.
It used to be the newborn. So that duality to it.
Absolutely.
What I see.
That's the interesting thing in our work. You know, different point of view are and different from the artist. Most of the time here, from my experience, people like to hear your opinion as an artist, and then oh, okay, I understand what you know. That's the reason I say they don't take a chance to have a conversation with a piece, and then lay around, come up with their own opinion or their own point of view. So they want to hear exactly what you thought at first. But there is a lot of things, you know, out of that.
All right, we are well past our due date, but I just want to say thanks to everybody. I mean, me and Georgia kind of agreed to coordinate this together, and I just want to say just thanks to everybody for all the effort you put forth.
Thank you.
Even having the courage to show your art, the will to show your art, the energy to show your art. I know everybody has a whole nother identity. We're like superheroes. You have to turn into an artist when you can be an artist, and the rest of the time you're being something else.
Right.
But I really appreciate just the effort. I mean, I think we can go on and on about critiquing the art, but I would just say let's just launch from here. You know, take this as a marker, and then let's mark on to the next marker. See what we can all run with from there, and then hopefully in a few months, few weeks, we'll just do it again.
We will.
Invite more people up, improve on the things we know we could do better,
Yeah.
and try to get some heads in here that want to create a collection based on this energy. But even beyond the sales, just the creative energy, let's just roll with it. Take something out of it from each person and as a collective. So I just thank everybody for participating.
It's a privilege.
Great work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it. We got it. Thank you, DJ. We're back to regular now. We're back to regular.
You got a rap and you got a cheering yell rap.
Vito, hey, we're doing it. This is it, and we're doing it.
Conceptual flux. Concepts are always in transition. They're always changing. So our art, our creative process, it's always in a state of change, which means it's always in a state of flux. So conceptual flux.
Verbalize what you see, or you use some kind of symbols or something to express what you see or what you feel.
Right.